Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And I'm sure a few of you have already seen and heard by now, but today, you had this, you had the Hudat, as you can see in the headline of this article here, declares the MP a GHE, all right, a global health emergency again. Okay, and it's a pretty quick update, but something to keep in mind. Now, I mentioned this. I believe I might have done a video on this actually, maybe a couple of days ago. Let's see if I can find that. Where I mentioned that. Let's see, video. Yeah, it might have been. It might have been in this one here. Everything is turned up. It might have been in that one. But in any case, in one of these, um, there was an article, all right, going into the head of, I think it's Tedros, whatever his name is. They were discussing whether they should declare this as a global or public health emergency, global health emergency. Now what's interesting here is as we're about to read, they're saying that this is an outbreak here in Africa. All right. But immediately, right, they're declaring this a global health emergency, which also is interesting in itself. But also the timing, right? Paying attention to the timing. Keep in mind that at this time you still have the bird, the angry bird, right, which is a code name for bird flu, but you still have the angry bird cases that are rising as well. Now, a lot of people are on edge now with everything that we went through the past couple of years. So we'll see what angle they come from with this. And really, it's just a matter of watching and seeing how they play this. Is this going to be something that they capitalize upon? Maybe they come with a poly crisis, right? Maybe it's not. Maybe they declared this, and at the same time, you have other things going on. We have to watch and see. But pretty sure that these so-called elites are smart enough to realize that the people are wising up to some degree to what is going on here. Okay, what is going on in the world? So, of course, they use the same tactics. They what's the word I'm looking for? Change it up a little bit here and there, but at the core of it, it's really still the same thing. It says, just when we thought we had the MP menace whipped, the Hudat on Wednesday declared an African outbreak of MP, renamed so as not to offend monkeys, apparently. Kind of new age. Anyway, a new public or PHE, all right, which is the acronym for what you see right there. The UN agency Director General Tedros Adhanom, and not gonna even try to pronounce that, but we'll just call him Tedros, announced the declaration in Geneva after accepting a recommendation from the Hudat, or the question mark emergency committee, right? And that's what I was mentioning last time. That they were looking into that. So why they decided to do it this time? Maybe they might come out and say, hey, we're just trying to get ahead of it because of last time, all right? Which, this is also an interesting symbol. You can look into that. That snake around the stick. That's symbolic as well. But we'll see, right? We'll see based on what else they come out and say. Okay, now that you've declared this, a GHE or a PHE, what's gonna happen now? Or is there gonna be another lockdown? Are you gonna enforce measures? What's gonna happen, right? We gotta watch and see. And keep in mind, right, you have just a few months before the the election selection, which that's already looking interesting already from now, as it is. Now, on the same day, which is today, that this happened, you also had some news that hackers are claiming that they had hacked into certain databases, certain facilities, and they were able to get access to a lot, if not all, the American uh, um, social security cards, and addresses and all of that. Okay, which I'll do a quick Google search on that after I finish this article. But that's also interesting in itself that if that is the case, why it's not being it's not being pushed out there on the mainstream media, because that's a pretty big deal, right? If hackers were able to get access to everybody's social security number, everybody's social security card, and and addresses, that's pretty, that's pretty interesting, right? So, continuing, as the Epoch Times notes further, Tedros said there have already been more than 14,000 reported cases and 524 reported deaths in Africa this year, a jump from last year. He also pointed to the emergence of a new MP strain, or clade, which he described as worrying. And it's always the strains. Now, the thing about the MP though is that it's different from the CV, right? The CV, people say, oh, it's a cold, it's just like a flu, or it's this. With the MP, they're actual um, physical symptoms that you can see, and they don't look or feel comfortable at all, right? You see the bumps and all that. It definitely doesn't look nice. Matter of fact, let me see. Uh, see if I just type it in here. Yeah, so you can see right there, right? You see the bumps, right? Some people get it worse than others, but that's I don't even want to click on that because it's yeah, and it gets all over. I don't even know if okay, I don't know what that is. I don't even know if it's itchy or what, but it definitely does not look comfortable. So that's the thing about this, right? You can actually see it. It's not just something that they would say, but you can actually see it. In addition to the other outbreaks of other clades of MP in other parts of Africa, it's clear that a coordinated international response is essential to stop these outbreaks and to save lives, Tedros said at a briefing. International response, huh? It's very interesting. MP is a pathogen that occurs in animals and humans. MP can spread between people and causes an illness that typically manifests with a rash, which I just showed, and resolves in a few weeks. That, man, that's the thing, right? For some, you may say, okay, a few weeks is not too bad, but it's not, a few weeks where you have this all over you, or and whatever other symptoms it comes with, that is very bad. That doesn't feel nice, right? When you have a cold or you're sick, even a few days feels like a long time. But some cases can lead to death. MP has predominantly affected men who engage in intercourse with other men. It's interesting. Can't really say too much on that because then YouTube is going to take down that video, right? But anyway, that's interesting right there, right? So can we see maybe they start to push similar to how they did with the CV, right? Oh, this is started with what? Chinese people, and then black minorities, they're at risk, right? They're most at risk for this, and all of this. Anyway, a PHE of international concern, or GHE, is the highest level of alarm the WHODAT can convey. It's declared for extraordinary events deemed to constitute a public health risk to countries through the international spread of that. Okay, this easiness. All right. So, are they assuming that this is already spread out of Africa? Who knows? We have to wait and see. The vid was declared a PHE of international concern in 2020. That declaration ended in 2023. That's 3 years later, after the number of cases dropped considerably. As Off Guardian opines, this is the second time in 2 years the question mark has declared MP a PHE of International Concern, or PHEIC. It was originally labeled such in the summer of 2022 before quietly having the status rescinded in 2023. And yeah, I remember that. That was like and who knows? Maybe they were like, oh, we maybe jumped the gun a bit, or we went too strong. We just had the vid, and now we can't just push this on because people are on high alert. Let's bring their guard back down. Like when you're playing a video game, right? And you're supposed to be stealthy, and then as you're getting closer to the enemy, you get too close, their alert bar starts to go higher and higher and higher. So you gotta like retreat a bit so that the AI system, the alert goes back down, and then you come back out again. Well, that's kind of like what they're doing here. They first declared, they say, oh, hold on. Let's slow down a little bit. And then quietly, it almost like that thing just died down. Then now, boom, we're back at it again. So are they gonna quietly remove this one too? Who knows? Or maybe they're gonna keep driving on this one. In truth, it was a narrative that flapped its little wings as hard as it could, but never got off the ground. They tried to label it as the same level as leprosy and the plague. They did the trick with the PCR test, and they changed websites to make it seem scarier. They followed the vid playbook step by step. None of it worked. So if none of it worked back then, and they slowly pulled back, and now they're coming back again, maybe they're coming with something different. Maybe they realize that, okay, people ain't falling for the first tricks. We got to really do something this time. In the end, it just sort of fizzled away. But now it's back, this time with a new name. And once they come with a new name, that everything is new. New name, new normal. There's some talk of clads and variants and whatnot, but we're all too familiar with this dance now to let a costume change distract from the same old routine. We know what's going on. The only questions worth asking are why now and what's next. Exactly, right? Why now and what's next? What direction are they going to go with this? Okay, with all the things happening, and remember, timing is key. Timing is always key. They don't do whether it's just an announcement or an alert or a declaration. It's not by coincidence. Timing is key. Okay, so let me get this real quick. 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And yeah, we knew that they would come with something else. Now, is this a red herring? Ooh, I don't know. Okay, is this what it is? Let's see. Is this the only thing that maybe they're gonna come and declare as a PHE or a GHE? We don't know. We're gonna see. But we just know that there's a lot of things up in the air right now. Okay, and they're all, coming together. Now, what I mentioned earlier was, see if I can find it. Hackers steal Americans' social security information. Let's see if we can filter this by the past 24 hours. Okay. Let's try the past week. Okay, so this is from Yahoo News. Hackers may have stolen the social security numbers of every American. Here's how to protect yourself. And this was on August 13th at 6 a.m. Okay, now not going to really read into this. I just wanted to show you what this is. You can do your research, look more into it, and see what you can find. But this is definitely something interesting as well, right? This whole social security card system, because we already know that they're pushing for a digital ID, right? We know that they're pushing for something like that. And so whatever narrative or catalyst helps to push that and to put that into the minds of the people and make it more accepting, whether it's through fear or whether it's through, enticement, they're going to do it. Okay, they're going to do it. But anyway, coming back to the focus of this lesson, there you have it. They came out with it today. Let us watch and let us see where this goes. As Yahushua said, watch as well as pray. Okay, because Whatever test runs they've done, at some point they're going to come with the real deal. And the thing about it is, behind it all, yes, it's going to be a narrative. Yes, there's going to be some goal that they want to accomplish, but the means by which they do it won't always be just scare tactics. At some point, it's going to be some actual lethal, you know, things that are released out here that will, you know, blow any doubts out of people's minds to think whether this is real or not. You know, and eventually they might just release something so bad that whether people believe that they did it or not, people will still be at their mercy to try and, you know, beg them to stop it. Okay, just keep in mind that what they try to gain out of the people is that desperation, because when you're desperate enough, look, everybody knows, right? Everybody and their mama knows not to eat other humans, right? Cannibalism. That's if you tell somebody about that, they'll look at you like you got three heads. That's nasty, right? But guess what? If you're desperate enough, you'd be surprised just how animalistic people can become. I mean, if mothers are willing to eat their own children for the right price, and what I mean by that is under the right desperation, guess what? If they came out and said, "Hey, you know, this is the situation that we're dealing with. You got to comply and do this, or else, you know, we're not going to be able to help you." It doesn't matter if people know what they're up to or not. The thing is going to be there. It's going to be killing people. It's going to be deadly, and people are going to be desperate enough and go with it, just like they did with the test run with the vid. People knew what the scheme was about. People knew about the Vanessa, the juice, right? The potion. But people didn't take it because they believed that it was going to help them. They took it because they were forced to indirectly. So they knew, you had a lot of people that knew very well what it was about. Even people that believed that this thing was set up, and they still went and took it. So, you know, just keep in mind just how powerful, you know, desperation can be, you know, especially for those that can induce it in others. Anyway, with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was informative and edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. And until next time, Shalom.